The title of my reading is A Statue for the Liberals. Hugh Arscott was a life insurance executive by day, but was active in politics, first with the Progressive Conservative Party and later the Rhinoceros Party. He became well known for his humorous observations of the Canadian and Saskatchewan political scene. In April 1966, John Diefenbaker, in one of his regular letters to his brother Elmer, forwarded a copy of a letter written by Arscott. If it sounds familiar, you're not imagining things. Versions of this letter were circulated as early as 1948. Indeed, it was aimed at every U.S. president elected between 1952 and 1972, and it gained new life with the internet, with a version using George W. Bush's name starting to hit inboxes during the 2008 election campaign. In April 1966, Ross Thatcher was the Liberal Premier of Saskatchewan. Both Arthur Mahan and R.V. Bennett were former Tory Prime Ministers. Mackenzie King, a former Liberal Prime Minister, and Hazen Argue, a former leader of the CCF and later Liberal MP, had just been appointed to the Senate by the Liberal government. So, John Diefenbaker writes, Dear Elmer, Hugh Arscott sent me a literary masterpiece which is going the rounds and I am attaching a copy. It reads, Dear Sir or Madam, we have the distinguished honor of being members of the committee to raise $50 million to be used for placing the statue of Ross Thatcher in front of the Parliament buildings. This committee is in quite a quandary about selecting the proper location for the statue. It is not thought wise to place it beside the statue of the late Arthur Mahan, who never told a lie, and not beside that of Mackenzie King, who never told the truth, since Ross Thatcher could never tell the difference. After careful consideration, we decided that it should be placed next to the statue of Christopher Columbus, the greatest liberal of them all, in that he started out not knowing where he was going, and arriving, he did not know where he was. In returning, he did not know where he had been, and he did it all on borrowed money. 5,000 years ago, Moses said to the children of Israel, Pick up your shovels, mount your asses and camels, and I will lead you to the promised land. Nearly 5,000 years later, Bennett said, Lay down your shovels, sit on your asses, light up a camel. This is the promised land. Now Thatcher is stealing your shovels, kicking up your asses, raising the price of your camel, and taking over the promised land. If you are one of the few citizens who has any money left over after paying taxes, we expect you to send a generous contribution for this worthy cause to the Leadership Solidification Committee, care of Hazen Argue, Assiniboia, Saskatchewan. Thank you very much.